Number 2, Petr Yan takes a huge and devastating loss to Merab, the number 3 contender in the bantamweight division last night. He lost in decision 50-45, which is pure dominance on Merab's part. Let's talk about it. But before we do so, if you're new here, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you've been here following me for a while, do me a favor, comment, and be sure to share. Just so you know, I'm a TikTok content creator, everything combat sports. I handle news, predictions, and even clips. And I'm moving over from TikTok to YouTube, and I need your help. So anyway, let's get right down to it. Merab Dvalishvili beats Petr Yan in a dominating fashion. And what's killing me about this fight is that everyone's saying, when's Petr Yan going to retire? Is he done? When will the UFC cut him? And let's just break a few things down just to clarify. Petr Yan has taken 3 losses in the last couple of years. All right. Number 1, he, to defend his belt, fights Aljamain Sterling, which he loses his belt ultimately because of an illegal knee, which everyone knows is absolute BS. No one should become champion off an illegal knee, but it is what it is. It was an illegal shot. Aljamain Sterling becomes champion. After that, he gets a rematch with Aljamain Sterling, and it's a super close fight. Some people even think Petr won that fight, but he does not take his belt back. After that, he goes on to fight the Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley, in a super close fight, one would say. But I ultimately think Petr Yan won that fight. I think he won 2 rounds to 1, but they gave it to, of course, the up-and-coming showman and the future of the bantamweight division, Dana White privilege, Sugar Sean O'Malley, okay? So he ultimately wins that fight. Petr Yan gets robbed. At this point, Petr Yan's not having a lot of luck in the UFC, and now he fights number 3 contender Merab. Merab is just a suffocating fighter, and that's exactly what he did last night. 49 takedown attempts. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a record-breaking statistic in the UFC. 49 takedown attempts in one 5-round fight. And Petr Yan was able to actually defend 38 of them. Ultimately, Petr Yan didn't look like himself. Merab looked a lot more motivated. He looked like he had the tools to kind of break down Petr Yan. He was mixing it up real well between his striking and then taking him down. Petr Yan ultimately couldn't get anything going. He looked defeated before he even walked into that octagon. And Merab, the number 3 contender, ultimately wins that fight 50-45, which is, should solidify a title shot. Now, here's my take. Petr Yan has been fighting top contenders in his division and has been robbed. There was an illegal knee, and now for the first time, we see him kind of decline and not look the same as he has before. But let's be clear on something. This is the first time that happens. There's no need to talk about retirement. There's no need to talk about the UFC cutting him because it's just not realistic. When you're going to get cut by the UFC, you got to be taking losses like Cody Garbrandt, getting knocked out by no names. You know what I mean? Petr Yan should be fighting still someone in the top 10. If he loses that fight, you give him someone in the top 20. And if he's getting dominated in all those fights, which I know he won't, then you could consider him retiring or him being cut by the UFC. But there is no reason for it. He lost to a number 3 contender of the bantamweight division. He should keep his head high. He just needs to train, get back into the octagon. And I think if he fights someone in the top 15, he probably dominates them, gets his confidence back, and he makes another run at the belt. The bantamweight division looks absolutely sickening lately. I think there's a lot of potential for a comeback on his part. He has a lot to show. He's one of the most technical and well-rounded mixed martial artists there is right now in all of the UFC. So I think for anyone to recommend retirement is absolutely nuts. You just got to go back and look at the track record. I know on paper it doesn't look too good, but you got to look into it. He's been robbed. It was some close fights. There was an illegal knee. Petr Yan is very much dangerous, and he will continue to be so. Moving on to Merab, what's going on with him? Do we give him an automatic title shot? We would think so, but let's be honest. Sean O'Malley beat Petr Yan first, and it looks like he's going to be fighting the winner of Aljamain Sterling and Triple C, which was just announced. Personally, I don't know if the Sugar Show could handle someone like Aljamain or Triple C on the ground, but only time will tell. I think Triple C will become champ yet again, and he'll run that division for a little while. Merab, on the other hand, says that he is not willing to fight for the title if Aljamain Sterling is sitting on the throne. Dana White did not like these comments, and he said it's a real bad idea. We've dealt with it in the past. It was a small knit group of guys back in the day. A lot of them didn't want to fight each other. He says now's not the time for that. It's not a good idea, and it won't play out in his favor. What do you guys think? Be sure to comment below. Guys, like, subscribe, share. You've been a huge help. MMA Casual to the moon. Thanks again.